man.
Oh, yeah.
Start 2 minutes late or something.
You already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
Yes, indeed you are. You listening. Thank you, Deion Dawkins. Training camp, we'll see you less than a week from now out at St. John Fisher College. The Buffalo Bills will be in training camp. I guarantee you Josh Allen will be off the golf course. He's not that great a golfer as we saw in that last tournament that he was in. Let's hope he has better luck this season with his new group of wide receivers. So we'll see him at St. John Fisher a week from now, and then probably 3 or 4 days after that, then they'll put the pads on, and when they get the pads on, that's when you'll see the Radman and J-GILLZ out there giving you exclusive reporting of what's going on at Buffalo Bills training camp and our prognosis for the upcoming season and what the Buffalo Bills could be doing and what they could be progressing. Who to see, who the surprise players are, the diamond in the roughs, the whole 9 yards. Follow us in Challenger Community News. Go on our YouTube page, like us, subscribe to it. Real Deal Sports Show. Thank you so much for all the people, the new subscribers in the recent weeks. We thank you, and I thank the original subscribers as well. Just keep on hitting that notification button or subscribe, and you can hear a Real Deal Sports Show at your leisure and find out on special and upcoming events coming on with the Real Deal Sports Show team. Welcome this morning, J-GILLZ. J-GILLZ, how you doing this morning?
Oh, welcome, man. Doing great, Rad, man. Just came from a beautiful gala hosted by my wife's church last night. It was a phenomenal event, I have to say, early mornings, but that doesn't stop us from talking about the real deal sports, you know what I mean? Sports of all sorts. And that goes from the basketball to baseball to everything, even a little bit of surfing. Hopefully in the next coming weeks, we can get you guys updated. So, it's always a great time to be on the Real Deal Sports Show.
It certainly is. And what about Bronny James? Not Boney James, but Bronny James. Bronny James is coming to Rochester in the fall. I just saw that, so I'm excited to see my main man, Bronny James, back in the Rock once again. I hope he throw down like he did in New Orleans when I saw him a year ago after the New Orleans Jazz Festival. Bronny James threw it down. And I know when he comes to the Rock, he always gets off in Rochester, New York. But we talk about Bronny James. I always get that when I see Bronny, I think of Boney all the time. But, hey, how's he been doing this week?
Man, Bronny James, just came through with his best game of the summer league, was able to drop 12 points, went 2 of 2 from 3. He had a phenomenal game, I'll say. He definitely showed, improvement from the last couple of games that he's played. We have to give Bronny James credit where credit is due. I'm still not certain if he's going to be able to make the roster. If it is, obviously, we know King James has a whole lot to do with it, but from what it's looking like right now, I still think Bronny will do better on the South Bay Lakers G League team. But you never know, Rad, man. The way it's looking right now and the way the Lakers roster is constructed, I might say, they may have the flexibility to just do that, just allow him to be on the team. But he's definitely showed vast improvement from his previous games, going 0 for 14 from 3. This last game, he kind of connected with some big shots.
And he's just getting started. He got a lot of weight on his back. And the one thing that's a telltale sign about Bronny James is look at this entire draft class. The number 1 pick. There's no true outstanding players that we could see right away. Like last year, everybody knew Victor Wembanyama was coming in, that he would be able to do his thing and be able to be a good player in the NBA, National Basketball Association, the NBA. But this year's crop, you don't really know who's the quality players, who they are. But Bronny seems to be doing okay. So it's a bad draft class. It's working out for him that there's not somebody else on top right now that could be taking away his time, which would be a good thing. And hopefully he does. If he goes to the G League to start, give him a start, get him going there, and then call him up during the season, and then he'll be much more ready to play, work on his skills, because now he's at a whole different level, playing 1 year at USC. They finally fired that coach at USC that been injuring their players, had 2 or 3 players have heart issues on the court, including Bronny James being one of them. They finally fired the guy. They got Eric Musselman to come into USC now. So hopefully Eric Musselman will keep that team moving in the right direction and don't have those guys working so hard that they have heart issues or other health issues right there on the court because the guy was overworking them so hard. at USC. The last two top prospects had to be rushed off the court by ambulance due to the hard drills and practices and things that this previous coach was running there. So congratulations to Eric Musselman taking over the head coaching job at USC. He knows what he's doing. He's been around. He done coached a little bit of everybody in the NBA, the whole 9 yards. So congratulations on that, Bronny James.
You got a point, right, man. You definitely got a point about this draft class. When you talk about the second overall pick, Alex Sarr out of France, just last week he went 0 for 15, 0 for 7 from 3, put up another donut. So you're right. This draft class hasn't really shown any dominance in regards to players who's actually balling right now. So it's going to be a learning lesson in a time frame for all of these players to really try and come out and show where they can fit in this NBA and where they can fit in this league. We haven't really seen it yet. This draft class definitely is a dull draft class. Got us real excited for the next one. Got us real excited for 25, Cooper Flagg and those guys. That's going to be a much better draft. The women definitely outshined the fellas when it came to this 2024 NBA and WNBA draft.
And we're going to get to that later in the show, our WNBA segment, because we definitely got a lot to talk about there as well. Next up, the U.S. men's basketball team. They're starting out looking like the teams of the Jordan teams with Barkley and all of the high superstars of the game. What's your take so far on their first three games? And they look like they got their fourth game later on today against Sudan.
Absolutely. When it comes to the USA basketball team, first of all, shout out to them for, beating on Serbia, had to beat on the Joker. You know what I mean? They had to get that done. But I think when I look at the USA men's basketball team and I look at the coaches that they had, Steve Kerr, Ty Lue, Grant Hill, great people in place. And I think right now this is most beneficial for a guy like Anthony Edwards, who's leading Team USA in basketball points coming off the bench. He's leading in points coming off the bench. I think he's dropped 41 points so far in the tournament, followed up by Steph Curry with like 30-something. But I think that he's really, really showing who he can truly be. We all saw the flashes last year. He kind of ran out of gas in the Western Conference Finals against Dallas. But we all saw the greatness of Anthony Edwards. And I think that being on this team with the Steph Curry, with the LeBron James, with some of these great players, Drew Holiday and company, these great coaches, and his mentality, I think he's going to be reaping a lot going into next season. Just the way that he's been playing electric, coming off the bench. And Steve Kerr had to tell him. He said even Dwayne Wade came off the bench when Kobe played, and Ant told him, we ain't got Kobe on this team. Ant trying to start, right, man? Ant is trying to start. That just goes to show you the mentality. He said, we ain't got Kobe on this team, meaning that he's trying to get in that starting lineup. He's giving it all he has, and I think this is going to be great for his conditioning, great for just his overall morale, great to get around these vets who've won championships like LeBron, like Steph. I think it's going to be great for his overall game. So if anybody's benefiting the most from this USA basketball experience, I'm going to have to give the nod to Anthony Edwards.
Excellent. And one that player that I like, I never did like his style of play, Joel Embiid. He's a nice guy, nice player, but to me, he looked like he's slowing the team down. It looked like the team all of a sudden goes from a high-paced offense to a slow, methodical half-court offense when he's in the game. Am I missing something, or is my eyes deceiving me, J-GILLZ?
No, you're definitely right. I mean, that's what Joel's been doing. I'm not sure why he's even playing. This is another one of those situations where I think USA basketball should have took it into their hands. They definitely needed a big, especially when you talk about the teams like a Team Canada with Zach Edey. I don't think Zach's playing right now, but obviously France, we got those Twin Towers and Victor Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert. That's a pretty tough team, pretty big lineup. So when you got a guy like Joel Embiid, you need size. But I think the USA basketball should have put it in their hands. Just like they had to excuse Kawhi, they should have excused Joel Embiid. He hasn't been healthy either. And like you said, he's kind of slowing the team down. You need the size. You could have found it anywhere else. I love Bam Adebayo backing him up, but I think that they definitely could have found another big to try and, turn the balance of power over there and give him a little bit more edge. But when it comes to Joel Embiid, you're absolutely right. I don't think he needs to be out there at all. He needs to be resting up, especially with the moves that they done made, getting to Caleb Martin, getting to Paul George, getting all these guys to winning championship. Go ahead, man. Take the summer off, Joel Embiid. Try and get healthy as you can and just do your thing. But you're right, absolutely right. He's bulking him down, slowing him down. But he is a much needed force, especially when you're talking about going up against France.
So he's there for certain opponents. That's a good strategic move. They feel they can beat the other opponents, but they need bigs like him for that France team. So it's shame. Hey, I go back to the days when we just used to send the college guys over, and the college guys used to do well until we got cheated over in Russia, and that left a bad taste in America's mouth. And they say, hey, y'all think y'all doing something? Y'all guys are playing pro leagues over there, and our guys, these are our college guys. I tell you, we'll show you something. That's when they switched to sending the pros over. I still think they should have added at least a few, some college guys to the roster just to give them an experience. Some of whoever the best college ball players who are returning to college basketball in the fall, not guys who just coming out going into the NBA, but guys who are coming back. That still should be a aspect of giving those young guys some international play and some international opportunities, especially because some of these games are going to be blowouts. You get a chance to give them a feel for the rules and how that court in the paint is wider and everything over there in Europe. How they play on international basketball. That would help keep that pipeline going down the road. So the younger guys, when they turn pros, then they're already ready for the international play. But they do have 17. I think it's 19U or 17U that do go over and play some international games. But I think playing with the likes of the Ant Edwards and the LeBron James and just practicing with those guys, or just give these young guys. Just make these guys so much more. So we're going to have a lot going on with the Olympics the next 2-3 weeks here on Real Deal Sports Show. And when you talk about that swimming category that's starting next weekend, hopefully we'll have some Black African American swim. That movie Wade in the Water over at the Little Theater was an eye-opening film. If you get a chance to see Wade in the Water, I did not know that Black people, Africans started swimming competition. I never knew that. I'm 61 years old. J-GILLZ, I never knew that Black people started swimming.
Absolutely. The Black people, they started swimming, Radman, back in the 1800s, 1600s, early on. Wow. They're the ones who started it. They used their skill set. And then, of course, the white men started manipulating and using those Black people to dive, who had those great aquatic abilities. They used them to dive into the water to get those gold and all those things that used to fall off the boat. And a lot of those enslaved folks were trying to swim to freedom, and they were very successful. But absolutely. And then when you talk about the representation, this is a big year, 2021. Last year, 3 years ago, the Olympics, that was the first time they introduced surfing. This is the first time since then that they actually have surfing in the Olympics. And when you talk about representation, there's not a single Black surfer representing the Olympics, and that's a shame when you're talking about a continent like Africa hosting and boasting some of the best Black surfers, in the world. But a lot of those injustices from the Olympic Committee that we were educated on at the Little Theater, they view Africa as a country. They view the whole continent as a country, so they only can boast two of the best surfers in that whole continent. Unfortunately, and they always pick the ones from South Africa, and they're always white, right, man? So we hope to get Joe Kennedy, pro surfer from Morocco, on the show maybe next week to try and educate us as this Olympic teams go on while we look at some of this Olympic surfing.
Absolutely. We got to learn more, because that was a very good Wade in the Water, outstanding film. Very educational. You learn something. I love to learn something new every day. And I learned something new that day, a few days ago, learning those facts and watching that film. We say, hey, to Morris Thompson down there in the Parkway, down there in Maryland, D.C. area. Yeah, you're right. The amateur players, there's no room for amateur athletes anymore. You're absolutely right. And as the Mike Rad always says, subscribe to the channel. Like the video on your way in. Like the video. And then subscribe to the channel, because we're on YouTube, Real Deal Sports Show. Absolutely. And also, Skip Bayless, a guy that we all met throughout the years on Super Bowl weeks. Because back in the day, everybody used to be on Radio Row back in there. Oh, man, from 2000, even before 2000 on up. It only changed around 60 when the NFL Network got their own network. They moved out and had their own private location on site. The ESPN now has their own locations, but back in the day, everybody was housed in one location during Super Bowl week. And Skip Bayless, we had a chance to talk with him many times, and he's totally different than he is on the air. You could just sense that and feel that from him. But he announced that he's retiring and leaving from FS1 from doing his show. He goes back to cold cereal or cold pizza back in the day with Rob Parker and Broussard and a whole lot of people that have their own shows now. were guests on his show, Cold Pizza. And then, of course, Cold Pizza evolved into First Take with him and Stephen A. And then now First Take has totally blown up. So, just give you a little history on the morning show. And Skip Bayless left his imprint on these morning sports talk shows that were just thought as novelty items back in the 2000s, but now are big-time programs. Right, J-GILLZ?
Absolutely. The news took me by surprise. Definitely. I mean, after, the Shannon Sharp debacle and, him departing from FS1 as well. When I look at Skip Bayless, I mean, just a pioneer, when you talk about sports media and sports debating, he's had his ups, he had his downs. I'm just curious to see what he does from here. I mean, he hasn't announced his retirement to my knowledge, so I'm excited to see what's the next move. I know Stephen A. is also somebody who is under contract, and he's trying to get his new contract, looking at $25 million a year, trying to seek that 5-year, $125 million contract, which he's well deserved, being the face of ESPN, in my opinion. You breaking out the Brinks trucks for Pat McAfee. You got a guy like Stephen A. Smith who's had the company on his back for the last 10 years. You have to give him credit where credit is due. So I look at those two free agents, and that's some of the best sports talk that we've had in a long time. Skip and Stephen A. So I'm excited. I think the timing is a little bit, surprising, especially with the Stephen A. situation. But two of the hottest free agents in the game. I'm very curious and excited to see where they go from here.
Absolutely. Definitely see where he goes from here. I hope he's on something else, but we got to give him his due. A lot of people you criticize on air and everything, but he was one of the people that helped get it going, that helped make talk TV, talk radio, and what we do help increase our viewership, listenership, the whole 9 yards with the when you go back to the Cold Pizza days, how it used to be, and different people, and they would rotate the different guests in. And a lot of those guys, like I said, the Rob Parkers, Chris Broussards, and just to name a few of them, they all now have their own shows. They all grown, and they worked at the different networks and things of that nature. And they worked at the different networks and things of that nature and moved on. So yeah, Skip Bayless definitely has his name, and we wish him the best down the road, which whatever his endeavors will be. Because I think that breakup with Shannon Sharp didn't help his cause at all, and the way it went down, and then Shannon Sharp going over and with Stephen A. the First Take and doing so well over there at First Take, and the show with to me, I watched the show. I still watch it a few times. Whenever I have an opportunity, I check him out. But with his cast, his new cast of guys, it was Michael Irvin for a minute, and now it was got
Keyshawn Johnson.
Thank you, Keyshawn Johnson.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce is not there. Paul Pierce is good some days, but he's not. He doesn't bring it every day. He looks sharp in those suits, man. That guy got a wardrobe, man. That Paul Pierce, man. He got a wardrobe in the shade and the glasses he be wearing, man.
And even Rachel Nichols. And when you talk about the lineup, I used to love Keyshawn on this show with Max Kellerman in the morning and Jay Williams. Keyshawn's very insightful. So I don't think it comes with a lack of a roster. Michael Irvin obviously entertained. These are guys who have high success on ESPN. And then you even get a controversial girl like Rachel Nichols who has her opinions. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe Skip is just not being able to produce like he normally has been able to do. I mean, he wanted Skip Bayless going. I mean, Skip Bayless. He wanted Shannon Sharp going. Shannon Sharp goes to ESPN, gets a new record deal, to stay there to help their flagship show First Take. So he's not just seeing things like he used to. I don't know if it's the age thing. I'm not sure what it is, but we've seen it in sports. Even though Bill Belichick said he wants to go back, we've seen it in college. Nick Saban, Bill Belichick. Now we're seeing it in sports media. Skip Bayless, all these older guys with that philosophy and that mindset are finding themselves out of the job. I mean, it's just going to show you, right, man, that sports really is moving into a different direction. With this NIL, with these contracts, with these new contracts, the WNBA, I know we're talking about it later, $2 billion there. You got the college football game coming out now. That's why they got to get like you, Radman. They got to stay with the times. Radman always able to adapt these times and navigate through these new sports worlds.
I agree, because I think with Rachel Nichols and what he was trying to do was good, but it just didn't have the connection as First Take continues to flow with the. It was too much talking and not enough listening to what they were saying. It just wasn't. I thought I could see it. This didn't have and it's on at the same time as First Take as well. So you're going up against the top show that's been the top show for the last 5 years now. You have to bring it a little differently, but I just think he might be just getting tired of it, getting tired of doing that show. Because you're right, all those guests were good on other shows and I like that morning show with Jay Will and them. I thought that was it was a shame that ESPN took that show off because Jay Will and those guys at 6 a.m. they were really good, and Keyshawn was really good on that show with those guys over there. Max Kellerman, I thought that was a really nice mix, and they really had they had a good flow to their program, a very good flow to their program at best, which I thought was really a good program. And let's get on our advertisers. Remember, Challenge the Community News, largest weekly African-American newspaper. Before our next guest comes on, Challenge the Community News, largest weekly African-American newspaper in all of Western New York. Pick up Challenge the Community News at most businesses in the community. You can pick it MCH Hospital, Worldwide News, Strong Hospital, and stores, corner stores, and businesses throughout the community. Check out the June 18th edition. Excellent articles in there on Dr. Ruth Scott's book signing and talk with Dr. Ruth Scott is in there. Pathways to Peace, the host Peace barbecues coming up. All kinds of news you can use regarding the city of Rochester, what's going on in Rochester, New York. Memorial AME Zion Church has a big, they're working on beds. Stop through there today. They have a lot of activity going on from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the Memorial AME parking lot with a lot of church activity going on, working on building these beds so that no child will have to sleep on a bed, on an inferior bed. They don't have to sleep on the ground or anything of that nature. They definitely don't have to do that, J-GILLZ. And the Challenge the Community News, largest weekly African-American newspaper in all of Western New York. J-GILLZ, All-Star Weekend coming up for the WNBA. For the WNBA. Can you still lead us in on what's going on this upcoming weekend?
Oh yeah, so we got to give credit where credit is due. Last night was the skills challenge. Alicia Gray of the Atlanta Dream had a phenomenal night, Radman. She ended up winning for the first time ever in WNBA's history. She ended up winning the skills challenge along with the 3-point shooting contest in the same night. We have to give her credit where credit is due. First time ever that has happened, I believe, in the NBA or the WNBA. So for her to win that, and she came up an extra, I think, $50,000 for cashing out on both of those W's. Very humble spirit, and she definitely won that one. You got to give her credit. I think it's going to be great. The All-Star game is going to be tonight. You got Team USA taking on the WNBA All-Stars, and what's going to be a great showdown. I mean, this is one of the best opportunities to see some of the best women in the world showcase their talent, showcase their skills. And I think everybody's going to be watching because you got the two neck-and-neck Rookie of the Year races, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese on the same team for the first time in history. I think it's going to be epic night tonight. Definitely tune in to ABC 8 o'clock for what I think is going to be a great, great game.
Absolutely. I agree with you. On that. It's going to be a very good contest tonight. But one thing I wanted to mention, two things. Alicia Gray, man, she won the skills competition and the 3 points. And I was just looking at her notes here. She just earned $115,000 bonus for winning those two competitions. The first player to win them in the same year. Year. So that's more than half of her current salary as for the play in the WNBA. So that's an amazing feat that she done made half her salary and more than half her salary in one night.
In one night. Doing the skills challenge, and then she made 50 bands on the 3-point shooting contest.
Yes, and that's hard to do, man. That's first time it's ever been done in the WNBA. And I think that the All-Star game, it's just amazing how these new players. Now that's just the opposite of the NBA with this year's draft class being kind of suspect. But with the WNBA, they got a 200% increase in quality of play. And the biggest thing that stood out to me is Caitlin Clark the other night broke the record of the most assists in a WNBA game, which was held at 18 assists. She had 19 assists in the last game just before the All-Star break. In my mind, to me, assist record, I thought by now, with all the years the WNBA has been around, I would have figured somebody would have been between 20 and 30 assists. in one game. I thought that would have been the record. I thought that record was very low. And I'm like, wow, someone comes in, one of your rookies come in this season and breaks it. That tells me that the quality of play in your league. I mean, no disregard to Cheryl Swoops and all of them. It was good. The quality of play was good. It was where it's at. But now the quality of play just in one season by the influx of this year's draft class, who came like a week or two later to play, they're they done took this WNBA league by storm. And this, I mean, just to break a record that to me I thought should have been in the 20s assist level, 20 to 25 or 30 assists in one game, just to break it. And the double doubles that Angel Reese has been doing all season. It just shows you this crop of students is just doing great. And then we still got Juju Watkins. We got a whole lot of other young, talented women that gonna be coming to this league. The girl that plays for Notre Dame, man, that point guard from Notre Dame, she's off the chain. Juju Watkins, they say she can play all positions. Man, the WNBA is just blowing up. J-GILLZ.
It is. And you touched on the media deal. I think that's going to be really essential for it to continue to blow up and have the success that they've been having. Obviously, you need your Caitlin Clarks, you need your Angel Reeses to get this type of revenue and money into the league. That way, we can support other people like a Deja Fair, who shouldn't have to go to Israel to play basketball. She should be in the WNBA. And with this expansion, with this media deal, $2.2 billion over the next 11 years, they're going to be able to expand the two teams. You got Golden State is going to be getting a franchise, as well as Toronto is going to be getting a franchise. And that just opens the door even more for these women because, believe it or not, Radney, this is one of the toughest leagues to break into. Only 144 spots in the WNBA. And we know there's many women who are great basketball players who should have, had the opportunity, but it's just such a tough league to crack into. So this money and media rights deal is going to really benefit a lot of women moving forward. And like you said, you got the Juju Watkins, you got the Paige Beckers, the Raven Johnsons who are in the NCAA right now, and their time is coming as well. But you got to give credit where credit is due. But you're absolutely right. I just want to touch on this too. When you're talking about expanding the league, I think the WNBA missed out on a huge opportunity. Sabrina Ionescu, come on, Sabrina, how you going to want to infiltrate the men's All-Star weekend shooting against Steph Curry, but you don't want to shoot in the WNBA All-Star weekend three-point contest? But you and Steph got your own show. Come on, Sabrina, you got to get it together. Caitlin as well, and Kelsey Plum. We need the best of the best to really showcase some of this stuff. I mean, we did witness history with Alicia Gray, and that was all fine and dandy, but I want to see the best shooters in the WNBA compete. I would have been tuned in for that, even in the All-Star weekend right now. We don't watch the dunk contest anymore. The three-point contest is the premier thing to watch. So I would have wanted to see Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum. I like Jonquel Jones being in there, and she almost won it on the last second miss. I love Jonquel, but I want to see the best of the best in there. So I think that the WNBA missed a huge opportunity, and I think that was an FU from Caitlin Clark to Team USA because she got snubbed on that team. So I think it was in her hands, and I feel like she was just, she wanted to let them know how she really felt. So she sat out.
Oh, that's what you think it was? Why she said why Caitlin didn't participate? That's an object. And I was surprised that the lady who you mentioned, she went against the men against our the Golden State Warrior player that you just mentioned.
Hey.
Come on. They got to come on. You got to. It's all about the league. It can't be about them. But then again, the league, we don't know the internal what's being said behind the scenes too, J-GILLZ, of how they coming at the players too. So we got to see how this plays out. And because the 3-point it came down to the last couple. It did. So it was very entertaining. And congratulations to Alicia Gray winning the 3-point in the skills competition last night. That was a heck of a performance to win that. And BacSpin, I think we might have a caller calling in. We check the phone lines there. I think we might have a caller calling in. And as we continue, the WNBA continue to grow. And as we speak, let's talk about our award-winning Marion Rivera Insurance and Farmers Insurance Agency. Home Auto Health and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, 585-360-0094. If you got a boat, if you got a boat, or you got a motorcycle, hey, be careful. I see a lot of motorcycle accidents out there this summer. Be careful. But if you like toys like that, if you got it, if you're a biker and you like to ride that bike, ride that motorcycle. If you got a boat, you like to chill out, like BacSpin with his big yacht. He almost got a yacht, J-GILLZ. I don't know what BacSpin. Every time I see BacSpin on Instagram, he got to look like he might have a yacht by now. That boat looking
good. The bells don't wear off on BacSpin. He had to get a yacht.
Yeah, he moving on up, man. Moving on up. If you like that type of toy, check out girl Miriam Rivera, insurance agency. I'm sorry, BacSpin. I couldn't hear you.
I said I just like to get my fishing on when I'm out there on the boat, man. You know, catching them largemouth bass and whatnot. That's all I'm out there for.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So check out Miriam Rivera Farmers Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, 585-360-0094. BacSpin, we have our guest ready?
I believe we do.
Oh, and this
B1055, you are live on the air. Who's this?
Deputy Chief Keith Stitz.
Yes, Deputy Chief Keith Stitz. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, my brother. How you brothers doing?
Doing well.
Great. Doing well. Talking the world of sports, and we hear that you have some news, a big announcement for us this morning.
Yes, sir. So in September, RPD is bringing a HBCU classic here to the city of Rochester. So the event will be September 21st. But prior to that event, there's some great events preceding the game.
Yes, and when does it start? It starts on that Thursday?
It starts on that Thursday. So it starts on the 19th. We're going to have an HBCU fair. We're going to have an event to empower our young women. There's also going to be events around the game for alumni that's coming to the city. And first is the big game. Right now I'm not allowed to say the two teams, but hopefully this week Mayor Evans going to announce the two teams and sponsors that's supporting the game.
Outstanding. And you got a Thursday event. You got a Friday, the women empowerment. Saturday, you're going to have the tailgating, right? You got to have some tailgating before the game, correct, Keith?
Absolutely. We got brothers out there frying turkey legs. So on that Saturday, we're going to have a tailgate party. The tailgate party will start at 9 a.m. The actual game will probably start like 1 p.m. After the game, there's Battle of the Bands. So you're going to get all of that for only $25.
Oh,
wow.
My God. You're taking this straight to the south, the ATL, Virginia, you know what I'm saying? You definitely taking us there. What went into wanting to host an event like this that I feel is so much needed in Rochester, bringing people together? What went into the mindset into wanting to bring this event to Rochester?
So, I only did what happened to me. Growing up in New Jersey, when I was a teenager, the cops in our community would pick us up and take us to Yankee Stadium. And back then, we used to see Grambling play Morgan State. When I became a cop, I did the same thing. We would get kids in the community and take them to the MetLife Stadium and watch the HBCU Classic. So when I came up here, I just thought, especially for this community, we got to go above and beyond traditional policing. Our community engagement efforts need to be intentional, hope-focused, and in my opinion, culturally responsive. So that was my thought process of me bringing the game here to the city of Rochester.
I love it. I mean, you talk about the HBCU. I just came from a gala last night where the colors was black and gold. The pastor was a Kappa, a lot of Kappa. Are we introducing any Divine Nine? Are there any ties there? We're gonna have some fraternities, any sororities?
Absolutely. We connected with the Divine Nine here in Rochester. They're gonna play a pivotal role in this event. So absolutely, everybody's welcome. The Divine Nine going to play a huge role, and I failed to mention that I did mention that we're going to have an HBCU fair at the convention center. So we're going to have a Divine Nine playing a huge role in all the events surrounding the game.
Oh, I love it.
Go ahead, J-GILLZ, with the next question.
Oh, it's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be phenomenal. And I know you obviously you said you can't talk about the teams right now, but can you give us any hints on the regions? You know what I mean? We got a lot of alumni here in Rochester who have been to HBCUs, and they are waiting to hear the news on, who they can see. If there's gonna be any of their alumni, they excited. Can you give us a hint on the region, possibly, Deputy?
Yeah, so one of the teams is from the Midwest, and the other team is from the South. That's the best I can tell you right now.
We respect it. We respect it.
Yes, indeed. They're coming up from the South, from the deep South, too. It's not just the little bit of the South, the deep South coming up north. So, hey, y'all get ready. Get those tickets. $25. Hey, some of the alumni and people. As a matter of fact, my neighbor across the street is from that deep South area that team is coming from. I didn't even know. She just was surprised. When I mentioned it to her, and she was like, "Wow, I'm from there." I said, "Oh, I didn't realize you were from there." All right, beautiful. So you got my neighbors, you got people. Hey, and how can people buy tickets now? Deputy Chief Keith Stitz, how can we purchase tickets today?
So tickets are on sale now. You could go on Eventbrite and purchase your tickets. If you need physical tickets, let me give you a website. It's the Frederick Douglass Classic. That's one word, Frederick Douglass Classic @gmail.com. If you need physical tickets or you're interested in being a vendor, shoot me an email and we'll make it happen.
Wonderful. And also, I just want to know, did we drop the location yet? Is that public knowledge?
Yeah, we could talk about the location. Yeah, so it's going to be at the Rochester Community Field. So the soccer field, people always call it a soccer field. So that's where we're having the game at.
And what went into choosing that location? So it's really central to downtown, one of our bigger stadiums. But what went into choosing that stadium to host this event?
Again, just to be intentional in terms of community engagement, we wanted to. I mean, it's ideal, right? It's right in the middle of the community, so we thought that would be the best place to have the game.
Wonderful.
And also, you're talking not only about the Friday events, the team rallies are Friday evening, Saturday tailgating, and then you have the game, the kickoff, first half, halftime. You're talking about having a halftime show too, correct?
Okay, so yeah, we are. We're working on a celebrity entertainer for the tailgate party. We're talking to quite a few folks. So yeah, we will have a celebrity entertainer for the tailgate party, and we will have a really scaled down halftime show as well.
All right, and then second half of the game, and then my favorite part, and a lot of people's favorite part, the fifth quarter. J-GILLZ, they're gonna have a fifth quarter, man. Woo. Oh, we got to be there for that. Oh my God, is that correct? The Battle of the Bands.
Right, absolutely, and they coming strong. Both bands have at least 150 members per band. Oh. And so they coming strong. Yeah, they coming strong. They're excited as well. So that should be very interesting.
Oh, Rochester never seen nothing like this before. Oh man, they're gonna turn it up. The Mighty Opa people over there in Buffalo talking about it. We're getting people in the conversations, offline conversations. Hey, this is going to be a big event. First time ever in Rochester, New York. As you see on the screen for our people watching on YouTube, and remember to subscribe, notifications, because we get it first. We're not talking about what we heard, y'all. We talk about what we know here on Real Deal Sports Show, right? J-GILLZ.
Absolutely, I'm excited, and I hope this comes back every year. This can be a staple in the city, and it's going to bring the much needed unity that we need right here in our community. Thank you so much to the RPD Police Department. We really appreciate your valiant efforts in trying to really bring us together.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys, and real quickly before I go, we got a chance to have to do this every year in the city. So this year we got to roll out the red carpet. It's a family-friendly event. We really got to show these teams, welcome these teams here to the city in Rochester. So I'm excited. If we do all those things, this could be an annual event for the city.
Absolutely. That's what we aim for.
Yeah, yes, and you're talking about the Frederick Douglass HBCU Football Classic, Saturday, September 21st, starting at 1 p.m., kickoff at 1 p.m. at the Rochester Sports Complex, 460 Oak Street, Rochester, New York. People on the screen, you can order your tickets. How can people order the ticket once again, Deputy Chief Keith Stitz?
Sure. So tickets are on Eventbrite now. You go to Eventbrite, you type in the Frederick Douglass HBCU Football Classic, and all the information will come up. You can order your tickets there. If you need physical tickets, please email me at Frederick Douglass Classic. That's one word, Frederick Douglass Classic @gmail.com, and I could get you physical tickets.
Excellent, because when I was growing up in my era, we had in Buffalo, growing up in Buffalo, New York, it was a police athletic league. And they had,
Right.
I grew up playing baseball. The police officers were our coaches. My brother was a police officer, Clifton Warren Jones, over in Buffalo. He coached the one team I was on, and he had other police officers coaching the other teams. And they also had the football, working with the J.D. Hill and then football leagues and the police athletic leagues. Me and Mighty Oba, we always ask about that. Why isn't that? Why did that just go away? They need to bring back the Police Athletic League, and I'm glad to see that you're bringing back something similar to the Police Athletic League by bringing this All-Star event, Classic HBCU Football Classic to Rochester, New York, and because that's what brings the community together. We are, by playing baseball and having the police officers as our coaches, and so we do us by name. When things happen in the neighborhood, when the officer pull up and get out the car, oh, that's Officer Dave Smith. Oh, okay, that's Clifton Jones. Oh, hey, Coach Jones. How you doing, Coach Jones? We dress, and people knew you addressed them. They gave you the respect. They knew you. You knew, and it was a win-win for both sides. Correct, Deputy Police Chief Keith Stitz? Correct.
Absolutely. So we need to get back to that. I think that's what we're missing in our communities. So hopefully this event could be a catalyst for getting back to the way things, I should say, should be. So listen, as long as I'm here, I want to make a impact on this community, and do I think that we could be better at engaging our community, and we're gonna get better.
Absolutely. And you, which area did you come from? You said you had experience working at. Where did you grow up?
Jersey.
Yeah, I worked in Jersey City. I grew up in Newark, worked in Jersey City. So again, back home when I'm dating myself, when I was 14, 15, the cops in my neighborhood, they would use the HBCU Classic to bring, all of us young knuckleheads together and show us Black culture. And that's what I want to do here for these young brothers and sisters.
Man.
Wow, thank you so much, because this is something that can definitely bring the kids together and bring the young people together, and the parents, the old heads, because there's a lot of people here, a lot of alumni from the various HBC schools here in the Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, Niagara Falls, all the surrounding areas can come down and bring and let the young people know this is what we used to. This is how we went to school. This is what we participated in.
Absolutely.
So great. J-GILLZ, any other questions you have?
No, but I think that is important, Deputy, that you highlighted that. Like you said, you want these kids to see Black culture. I think that's just so important. What you see, and the environment that you're in can really shape you. So everything isn't just and to have it right there in the community, everything isn't just what you see on the streets. But Black culture is so much bigger than just what you see, than just gang activity and things like that, and violence and guns is so much bigger than that. That's why I'm so excited. The mission is clear, it's pure, and you've got a lot of support, and I know it's a lot of people excited and ready to aid the RPD in any effort that you guys need.
Yes, and we're also definitely media-wise. We're all got a lot of things in the planning stages, working now. Looking forward to continuing this partnership. And want to thank you very much for coming on the show. But one more time, how can people order tickets now? $25. Man, I haven't heard that price since Wow. Tickets used to be $15, and we thought $15 was high back in the day, man. But man, $25, that's a steal almost today, y'all. How can they order these tickets?
But so real quickly about the $25, right? We want to make sure that everyone in our community get a chance to experience this, right? So so we made it $25. So for $25, you get in a tailgate party with a celebrity entertainer, a football game, and a battle of the bands, all for $25. So you can get your tickets on Eventbrite. If you type in Frederick Douglass HBCU Football Classic, all the information will pop up and you can purchase your tickets there. Or if you need physical tickets, you could go to, you can email me, at frederickdouglassclassic@gmail.com. That's frederickdouglassclassic@gmail.com. And I would say this, every morning we get a report on tickets sold. Tickets are selling fast. So get your tickets as soon as possible.
You hear that, listeners out there in Radio Land and all our listeners on YouTube? Hey, Morris Thompson, come on down from the DC once you get off the Beltway. Hey, man, get online, use your phone and order that $25 ticket, Morris Thompson. I know you've come down, great photographer, great guy, always come through. Hey, come on through to Rochester for that weekend. Be a great time. And then everybody else out in Radio Land, come on through. We're going to have you back on the show. We want to thank you so much for coming on Real Deal Sports Show. Police deputy, boy, I'm losing it right here on there going, but Keith.
Keith. Hey, brother, listen, just call me Keith.
All right, Keith, just call you Keith. There we go. There you go, Keith. There we go. Thank you so much for coming on Real Deal Sports Show, and we look forward to having you back as we get closer to the show, closer to the time, and I'm sure we'll have the head coaches from those teams on the show as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, J-GILLZ, and that's very exciting to have this coming to Rochester, New York.
Oh yeah, and of course, leave it up to the Radman to get the exclusive right here on the Real Deal Sports Show. Man, this thing is going to be great. It's going to be great. I think everybody's going to enjoy their time. You can't beat that. That's a 3-for-1 for $25. You get the tailgate, you get the game, and then you get the battle of the bands, and you get to do it right here in Rochester. You really can't beat that.
You really can't, not for that price like that, not at all. In closing, do you have any other sports that you like to get your take off your chest in the closing moments?
Man, we got Buffalo Bills training camp, Radman, coming up in just a matter of really days. I think next week, the end of the week is going to be, they're going to be here next Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So it's about that time. It's about that time to really get into football mode. We got Josh Allen with a lot to prove, especially with the likes of that tape that this anonymous GM had on him.
Yes, exactly. You get off the golf course, Josh, and now you got to get to work. You can't blame Stephon Diggs for cussing you out all the time in the huddle and intimidating you in the huddle and making you upset, and then you forget to throw the ball. Then you just get so mad that you don't throw the ball to him when he's wide open in that last game when he was cutting across the middle. You could have picked up 8-9 yards. You could have easily picked up the first down if you would have went to your go-to guy, but up in your head, you didn't want to go to your go-to guy. He cut right in front, a slant pattern right across the middle. He was wide open. 2 plays in a row. You should have got the ball to Diggs. You should have took over and said, take the team. You want to win with your main guy. Your main guy at that time, you should have got the ball to Diggs. You refused to throw the ball to him, and you threw it deep downfield, and you underthrew Secure in the end zone, who was open on that play. But you didn't need to. You need to run some clock. If Diggs could have took it for a touchdown, he could have took it at least to get you to 9 yards to keep the chains moving. And plus, that would have kept Mahomes off the field, and you could have milked the clock down to you could have scored the winning touchdown with under a minute left in that game, because that game was almost at the 2-minute warning when those plays took place. So Josh Allen, a lot is given and a lot is expected. So we expect when we see you out there we want to see who you're throwing the ball to, and I don't want to hear it that somebody intimidating you and got you off your game. Now Stephon Diggs is gone. The Bills are paying $25 million. Get this out, listeners. Diggs is getting $25 million this season from the Buffalo Bills to play for the Houston Texans. That's how bad it got over there at One Bills Drive.
Wow.
The Bills are paying Diggs $25 million to play for another team. That's all you got to know. They sugarcoating it and, oh, man, well, it's a partner of the ways. We got part. But who pays for a guy, your best player, your best receiver, to play for another team? Who pays his salary to play for another team? Ralph Wilson be done fired every one of these cats, man. Ralph Wilson said, man, get the hell out of here, man. I'm coach, man. Let my daughter coach the team, man. Yeah, man, who is this quarterback, man? He better get out here and play, man. I don't care if you don't like him or what. Man,
we ain't even in the training camp, and right now I'm telling you, the Rat Man is on fire. He's on fire. Josh Allen, he's gonna have a long season. He got a long season ahead of him. He better find his targets. Hey, Khalil Shakir, y'all better. I hope y'all was connected during the off season. Keon Coleman, you're just a rookie, but they gonna need you. I mean, Chase Claypool, you might even have to come through and have an all-star type of season. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad if they don't get it together.
Oh, it's going to be real bad, man. We got to see how these guys connect. You got Claypool, you got Coleman, you got a lot of receivers. Valdez Scantling. I don't know if he couldn't catch Mahomes' hard fastball. How he's going to catch that hard ball that Josh Allen throws, man? That's what.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. We hear the music. BacSpin, come on in. Welcome back, BacSpin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another phenomenal show with the Real Deal Sports Show. The J-GILLZ. Fanatics out there living his life. I'm trying to buy you somewhere. And,
no, he's in Jamaica this weekend.
Oh, he's in Jamaica this week. Okay.
For a friend's wedding. For a friend's wedding.
Hey, that's a globetrotter right there, man.
Yeah. He just, man, he got that frequent flyer miles and all of that. Oh my gosh. So
hey, I'm not mad at him. Live your life. Fanatic, live your life, my brother. Brad, man, how you feeling?
Feeling good. But I also want to make an announcement to everybody on the passing early this morning of Gerald Shaka. Gerald Shaka and Terry Shaka own Kitabu Kingdom, the black bookstore here in Rochester, New York. First, it was on Genesee Street, right there where the guy had the car wash at. Michael, I can't think of that, Michael Atkins. Michael had the car wash there. They were right over there in that building, and then they moved to Thurston Road, and they were very successful on Thurston Road. Terry and Gerald Shocker, right there where today is the YMCA. The YMCA is in that building now, but before the YMCA was there, it was called Kitabu Kingdom Bookstore, African bookstore with clothing. Everything was being sold in that building. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Shaka family on the passing of Gerald Shaka. And his daughters, Ramisi, and his son Anwar, and Maya Shaka, the first African-American referee in the National Football League. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Shaka family on the passing of Gerald Shaka, another person and family that made Rochester a much better place to live.
Wow. No doubt. May he rest in peace. Thank you, my brothers. I appreciate y'all, man. Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m., it's all about the Real Deal Sports Show where y'all talk sports of all sorts. And we look forward to doing it again next week, fellas.
Yes, indeed. We look forward. I know you're going to make an appearance at that HBCU, son. Battle of the Bands.
You know I'm pulling up to that. I'm looking forward to the Battle of the Bands because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went to high school in Atlanta, so I know all about those high school bands, and they get busy, so I'm definitely looking forward to the Battle of the Bands and the game itself. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that Battle of the Bands, man. For real, that's gonna be good for the city.
Oh, no doubt. Look, we'll catch you next week talking Buffalo Bills camp and all sports of all sorts. We're gonna have the Olympics, talking about African American swimmers and the whole 9 yards next week. Check us out.
Yes, sir. Keep it right where you need it, Rock City. That's the Real Deal Sports Show, and you know the Back in Time Mix Show is on the way. Let us pay these bills, and we'll be right back with the classics on the beat 105.5.